This week we're talking about abundance, and we need to have a good conversation about this topic because we have really got some strange ideas about what this word means. But Jeff Foster will guide us in the right direction.
Abundance is not the money you have in your bank account, the trophies on your shelf, the letters after your name, the list of goals reached, the number of people you know, your perfect healthy body, your adoring fans. Abundance is your connection to each breath, how sensitive you are to every flicker of sensation and emotion in the body. It is the delight with which you savor each unique moment, the joy with which you greet each new day. It is knowing yourself as presence, the power that creates and moves worlds. It is your open heart, how deeply moved you are by love every day, your willingness to embrace, to hold what needs to be held. It is the freshness of each morning, unencumbered by memory or false hope. Abundance is the feeling of the afternoon breeze on your cheeks, the sun warming your face. It's meeting others in the field of honesty and vulnerability, connecting beyond the story, sharing what's alive. It's your rootedness in the present moment, knowing that you're always home, no matter what happens, no matter what is gained or lost. It's touching life at the point of creation, never looking back, feeling the belly rise and fall, thanking each breath, giving praise to each breath. It's falling to your knees in awe, laughing at the stories they tell about you, sinking more deeply into rest. Abundance is simplicity. It is kindness. It is you, before every sunrise, fresh, open, and awake. You are rich, friend. You are rich.
What's the first thing Jeff says? Abundance is not the money you have in your bank account. Let that sink in for a moment. Abundance is not the money you have in your bank account. We have this idea of what abundance means. We have this idea of what we need to run after and acquire in this lifetime. But by the end of this video, you may realize that you've been barking up the wrong tree entirely. So Jeff gives us a list of all the things that abundance isn't, right? It isn't the money in your bank account. It isn't the list of goals that you've reached, the number of people you know. Abundance isn't in any of those things. He says, abundance is your connection to each breath and raindrop, by the looks of it. Your connection to each breath. Have you ever considered that to be abundance? You know, when you're intimately connected with your breath and you become conscious of this air going in and out, it can bring you to a place of incredible peace, balance, stability. And in this place, there is the most phenomenal abundance. Not the abundance that we usually think of, but something even more real, even more delightful. He says, abundance is the delight with which you savor each unique moment, the joy with which you greet each new day. when you savor a moment of your life with delight, when you greet each new day with joy, there's an abundance that you sense within your being, an abundance that overflows in gratitude, deep appreciation for what it means to be alive. He says abundance is knowing yourself as presence. Is there anything more beautiful than knowing yourself as presence? If you think about it, all the most precious memories in your life are from times when you've been completely present in that moment, open and available to experience what's happening fully. It's no coincidence that so many of us are being drawn to a life of presence, that mindfulness has become mainstream, and that humanity is waking up to a new awareness. He says abundance is your open heart. The preciousness of an open heart is indescribable. We don't think of these things as abundance, do we? And yet they are. Going through life with an open heart is the most abundant way to be. Allowing yourself to be deeply moved by love and holding those tender emotions, no matter how painful they may be at the time. Has it ever occurred to you that this is the experience of an abundant life? A life that's so full, so bursting at the seams, with an unlimited variety of experiences. Oh, I love this one. It's the freshness of each morning, unencumbered by memory or false hope. I want you to taste how abundant life can be, how beautiful it can feel when you wake up in the morning with a realization of the newness of the day, without dragging your story into it, without letting your memories of the past and your worries about the future corrupt it in any way. Abundance is the feeling of the afternoon breeze on your cheeks. Isn't that beautiful? When you talk about abundance and living an abundant life, most people think about money. But what about the breeze on your cheeks? You see, money can come and go. And it often does come and go, right? But the things we're talking about here, being rooted in the present moment, having an open heart, appreciating the newness of the day, allowing yourself to feel everything, all these things that are mentioned in this quote, these are things that don't really depend on anything outward. And they don't depend on you exerting effort either. This is just the most amazing list, isn't it? He says, thanking each breath, giving praise to each breath. Can you give praise to your breath today? Can you experience what that feels like? To have an abundance of breath, to have an abundance of gratitude. He carries on, abundance is simplicity. Oh, I love simplicity. I'm kind of obsessed with simplicity. That's why I make these videos, so that we can, simplify these matters that we've made complicated with our mind. Because how to live life and practical spirituality and all these things, when you come out of that troublesome, muddled mind, when you see the virtual reality that you're creating and you come out of that, it simplifies everything, because you can realize, wow, life is just what's happening, but my mind is creating a problem out of it. So I love to share this thing which I call delightful deprogramming. It's simplicity at its best. All we need to do to live a happy and fulfilling life is 3 things. Recognize thought. Recognize what's going on up there. And let go of your attachment to it. Change your relationship to it. Let go of being so invested in your thoughts and beliefs and see them for what they are. Powerless unless you believe them and give them meaning. Secondly, recognize resistance. Recognize that you're going through life with your preferences, stamping your foot down and saying, I don't want this and that shouldn't be that way, etc., etc., etc. Soften a little bit. Allow life to unfold in its own way. Trust it a little bit. Trust your intuition. Stop fighting and arguing with it all the time. It's exhausting. And finally, come back to presence. Because this is the only place where life is actually happening, not in your mind. Coming back to now is true freedom. Because in this place, in this moment, there are no problems. Everything is perfect, as it is, without you projecting your thoughts onto it. Everything is very peaceful, actually. Very simple. Very lovely. So remember, when you're getting yourself in a tiz, remember delightful deprogramming and those 3 insights. Recognize thought, recognize resistance, come back to presence. That's it. That's it. Not necessarily in that order. Trust me, it works. And I love the words at the end. He says, you are rich, friend. You are rich. Do you dare to consider yourself as rich? What do you think it means to be rich anyway? Well, there's the rich, which is money in the bank. But remember, that can be taken away from you at any time. It fluctuates. And let me tell you, over the years, I've got to know some rather wealthy people when it comes to money in the bank. They weren't any happier than I was. Not at all. There's nothing wrong with trying to improve your financial situation. There's nothing wrong with wanting to make more money. There's nothing wrong with all of that. But don't kid yourself that having more money is going to take care of all your problems, or that it's going to magically make you feel fulfilled. If you don't believe me, listen to the people who have money. I mean, really listen. I'm not talking about that social media post showing off the car and the mansion. I'm talking about life lessons from those who have reached the pinnacle of society's idea of success and what they have to say about what they've learned about life. Let's listen to some more enlightening quotes about abundance.
Sometimes we think we don't have enough to be happy, that we need more conditions, more possessions. But if we stop and breathe, we see that we already have more than enough. We have 2 eyes. We can see the blue sky, the beautiful trees, the eyes of our beloved. We have 2 ears. We can hear the sound of the birds, the laughter of our friends. We have a heart that can feel, that can love. When we touch these conditions deeply, we discover abundance right here, and happiness is possible right now. Abundance is not something that comes to you. Abundance is the overflow of your own being. It is the flowering of your love, the fragrance of your silence, the dance of your joy. When you're so full that you cannot contain yourself, when your heart is overflowing, when you're in deep gratitude for being, when each moment is a gift, then abundance happens. Then life is not a struggle to get more, but a celebration of what already is. Once you realize that the road is the goal and that you're always on the road, not to reach a goal, but to enjoy its beauty and its wisdom, life ceases to be a task and becomes natural and simple, in itself an ecstasy. In that simplicity, you discover the great abundance of life, not in possessions, not in achievements, but in being itself. The greatest wealth is to know that nothing is lacking.
Thich Nhat Hanh says that sometimes we don't feel that we have enough to be happy, but that if we stop and breathe, we'll see that we already have enough. Next time you find your mind wandering off into its multiple complaints about why life isn't good enough, remember to stop and breathe. Breathe a thankful, conscious breath. Realize that your perspective has become warped and you're seeing things in a distorted way. As Thich Nhat Hanh says, remember that you have two eyes to see the blue sky, and it's actually blue today, to see beautiful trees, to see the eyes of the people you love. He says, remember that you have two ears to hear the singing of the birds and the laughter of your friends. In those moments, remember that you have a heart that can feel love. How much love can that heart feel? There's some abundance right there. He says when we touch these conditions deeply, that means you don't just think about it. When we touch these things deeply, we discover abundance right here. And happiness is possible right now. Can you wake up to the abundance that's right here and realize that happiness is possible right now? Yes, right now, in this moment, while you're watching this video. No matter what's going on in the story of your life, all the masters, all the wise spiritual teachers have been pointing us to this abundance, this natural, ever-present, unlimited abundance within our being. And they keep pointing to it until we get it. And you might get it and then forget it. And that's okay, because that's part of the human experience, right? We get it and then we forget it. The beautiful thing is that once you've seen something, you can't unsee it. So then no matter how many times we forget, we just keep remembering. Don't lose heart. Just keep remembering. Osho says that abundance isn't something that comes to you. Rather, it's the overflow of your own being. And I can honestly say that this is my experience. When I'm not absorbed with the workings of my mind, when I'm not focused on the situations and circumstances in my life, and I'm back home in this place of present awareness and simply being, just being one with myself, with life, with what's here. In those moments, I experience an overflow, an outpouring. It's almost like this inner fountain gets turned on. The moment you get present, this incredible fountain just bursts forth, and there's unlimited love, unlimited gratitude, unlimited understanding, unlimited compassion, kindness. It's just unlimited. It's like it's always there, but we keep removing ourselves from it. We keep losing our way. We keep forgetting and thinking our way out of this place of abundance. But it's okay, because it doesn't make it go away. Only in our experience. It's actually always here. Always here. Always available. Just waiting for us to wake up to it again. Osho says, when you're so full that you cannot contain yourself, when your heart is overflowing, when you're in deep gratitude for being, when each moment is a gift, then abundance happens. Let me tell you, no money can buy this. No money can compensate for not experiencing these things. These are all things that you and I can experience today. Nisargadatta Maharaj says that in simplicity you discover the great abundance of life. Not in possessions, not in achievements, but in being itself. This mysterious thing we call being. He says the greatest wealth is to know that nothing is lacking. The greatest wealth is to know that nothing is lacking. No amount of money can buy that.
Abundance is not something we acquire. It's something we tune into. My wealth is not in what I have, but in what I enjoy. Abundance is the experience in which nothing is missing, where every breath, every step, every glance is enough, and more than enough. Abundance is not in the possessions we hold, but in the presence we embody. It is not the plenty of things, but the plenitude of being. Abundance is already within you. It flows in the warmth of your smile, in the gentleness of your touch, in the stillness of your heart.